Hi everybody, welcome to Chapter 6 in the Sullivan text, which looks at transformational change through instructional supervision. If you've noticed again, I've once again changed the background on the slides. It's a different background, it's the same content, I swear to you, I promise. We're just in a room where the lighting is odd, and because of that I have to do light text on dark background in order to film. No big deal, as long as you get the information, that's all that matters. It's the same even if the pictures are off. That being said, we're going to talk a little bit about school reform, teacher leadership, and what the instructional core looks like. In order for me to do this, I've borrowed from our introductory information on our doctoral level school reform class. We're not going to be doing a lot with improving instructional core because a lot of you are doing an alternative certification, or you're here, getting your master's degree, and you're learning how to be building level leaders. So you're going to be different. But I want to go over what this tri-level school reform means so that all schools are participating in it and how the state looks at it as well, because this is a good way to really explain this model that Sullivan's really stressing in the text. So the main key to make tri-level reform work is that you can't wait around for the district to get its act together, for the state to get its act together, or for the or for the school building itself to get together. If you're the building leader, you need to focus on the internal and what is going on in your building and force the other two to connect. If you can do that, that expedites any problems that could occur. Tri-level reform actually does occur in the building, and everybody wins from that proceeding. So one of the keys to this too is that there's a strong infrastructure of leaders available at all levels. Building level leaders, district level leaders, state level leaders. There's good training, good development. It's supported by the state, it's supported by the district, it's supported by the building. But what I think tends to be the problem, and what needs to be clear, is that everybody knows where they can go to get the training and the leadership that they need. If you make that happen, you've alleviated a billion of potential problems that you could have. You're going to have distractors because this is a political situation, and schools are a political nightmare. They are. Universities aren't much better. Schools are just as contentious as a political nightmare. There will always be the teacher who refuses to do something. They'll say no. They won't go along with the change acts. And you as the building principal, you have to be the one that gets them to go along with it and shows them why it could benefit them, why it could help them, or basically show them why they need to believe in it. So evaluation has to be continuous. Participants need to be able to ask questions, understand why change is occurring, and the district has to be completely transparent on their answers. I like how Fullen put that participants aren't questioning leadership, they're questioning the processes so they understand it. In a good district and in a good system, that is the model that we're working with, ladies and gentlemen. And if you know that and you keep that in the back of your mind, this is what makes schools work and this is what makes schools effective. There are three elements of successful instructional leadership that tend to work in schools that make this environment potentially a working environment for all. It's this notion of the instructional conference, staff development where necessary, and letting teachers actually reflect on their experiences. If you can do all three of these, you're doing something right. We've spent this entire course really talking about instructional conferences. Staff development and teacher reflection can build into that instructional conference process. But the instructional conference, how you interact with your teachers, is really the big and awesome idea that I want you to keep coming back to in this course. So, one of the things that you have to do anytime you have a conference is that you can find a way to show that the conference really can enhance teaching practices that occur and it can improve actual student learning. When it's done right, an effective principal can, make suggestions, model the way, show it needs to be done, give feedback from what they saw, but also solicit opinions from teachers too so they have a better understanding of why a teacher may have done something the way that they did it. Staff development, you've heard my spiel on staff development throughout this entire class. More money needs to be spent on it, more practice needs to be spent on it, and collaboration has to occur where possible, and there need to be good relationships where necessary. Action research, if it's applicable, works well here. We're going to be really looking at that towards the end of this class. because it can involve teachers in the process of adult learning, and we want our teachers to understand where we're coming from when we're talking about what adult learning looks like. Teacher reflection is a big idea. Teachers need to be able to share their attitudes, share their feelings, in deep thinking. Their opinion matters, and how they present themselves equally matters during a personal reflection process as well. So think about any time that you're doing any sort of interactions with the teacher or going inside a classroom. What is this going to do to make the teacher a better teacher? How will it affect their knowledge and skills? What's it going to do to the content in the classroom? If I offer a suggestion of how to change your instructional strategies, can the content of the classroom be covered more effectively, maybe more rapidly? Will more students understand it? How does the student affect the instructional process? If there's a method they like and something that's working for them, do you integrate that in? And how will it affect the relationship between the teacher, the student, and the content? You know my belief on this. Relationship with the teacher and the student comes first. But once that's been formed, it's going to cause the student to have more buy-in to the actual content. So the 5 main critical skills that leaders must possess in the 21st century comes directly from Fullen. We would spend an extensive amount of time in a doctoral class going over these 5 main things, but we'll go over them slightly a little bit in here. Number 1, engaging moral purpose. There has to be a connection to commitment to improve schools for all students. A school that can improve and refine the lives of children by improving the quality of instruction they receive is tremendous, and that commitment must be predicated on serving the needs of all students while remaining an inclusive learning environment. Understanding the change process. When change occurs in schools, you're going to see what Fullen has referred to as the implementation dip. Not having the doctoral class, this might not make sense to you, but if I were to explain to you what the implementation dip would look like, let me see if I can back out of this real quick and open up a Word document, and if I can draw on it, that would be superb, so give me a second. Let me maximize this. So, let's see. Insert. It's been a while since I've done this. Some of you are probably thinking, wow, I've done this all the time. Bear with me, because if I can somehow do this, yeah, we'll do shapes. So, if learning is here, and it's stagnant, when you implement a change process, learning really goes up here. There's a marked improvement. But then after that happens, learning declines and it goes down. So I can't stop it in Bill. There I can. And it might just sustain, but then people quit caring about it as much. And it continues to decline slowly. And if I had an extender line, my extender line would go down here. Not bad for having a whiteboard, I guess, but that learning dip is going to occur, and it's how the teachers react to it that really make the difference as to whether or not continuous improvement could really occur in your school system. If the vision is clear, people are going to understand. They're going to understand ways in which that they can overcome the fear. And if it's clear and they don't understand it, they're going to feel stupid and they're going to feel like they're going to be incompetent. Most people prefer to be competent at something old than something new, so it's going to scare them more than anything else. The key is that you create a system that doesn't scare them. So cultures for learning, this is another no-brainer. People have to learn from each other. If you create a good culture in your school system, everybody's learning from each other, everybody's part of the process, and everybody's collectively committed to improvement. Cultures of evaluation, it's the notion that we're still going to be doing assessment even though we're improving. We're going to have action plans, we're going to look at data, we're going to look at student learning, we're going to aggregate it, disaggregate it, we're going to break it down in many ways as we possibly can. If that can improve student instruction. If it's done right, parents are going to give it, teachers are going to give it, and students are going to give it as well. So the other major message from Fullen is that all leadership should lead to change actions through change agents. You have to know who the people are that are going to make changes and be the most effective. I've said this throughout the doctoral classes here because I think it goes without saying. When you have principal turnover so much in the United States, leaders have to be constant. They don't have to be high flyers and charismatic that are there, get in and get out. They have to be consistent, and they have to give the opportunities for leadership actions to occur. So the last chapter in Sullivan really looks over some sample platforms for instructions. It's quick. If I can do anything to help, let me know. But I think this one, I want to at least introduce you to some of the big key elements that we talk about in the doc program. If I can do anything else to help, let me know. Thank you.